my niece visited, and she's probably like 4 years old. She kissed this goat. She loved it so much. This one's probably my favorite background I did. I'm thinking about painting a skiing goat. I am so stoked to get going on this pink goat. It's gonna be so cute. And I did not plan this. Isn't it funny? I have this pink frog on. These pink animals. So I actually did end up buying new paints. I got magenta, white, more yellow, and hot pink. Because you really cannot mix a pink with this kind of red. That took me years to figure out. I was like, how do I make a hot pink? And you have to use a quinacridone red. You have to use quinacridone violet, and permanent rose also works. Look, these are empty. These are my other acrylics that I usually use. I was saying in the first video in this series the difference between them, whereas this is like $6, this is like $13. But they did not sell quinacridone in Michael's, and it was Christmas time, so like their racks were sold out. Now I'm going to mix the pinks that I'm going to use for my goat. I'm going to need white. The reason I decided to do this goat pink is because the background has got some pink highlights to balance it out, but also because of the white snow trail. Goats are white, so it kind of could be cool to just have white kind of vibe, but I thought it would look really cute to have a pink goat. And I'll tell you what, when I look at this pink goat when it's done, I am gonna freak with cuteness. Ooh, that is so pretty. I think if you mix the two, you'd have like a bubblegum pink. So when I go in to mix colors for a project that I'm doing shading for, which is why animals are so easy for me, because all it is shading and shapes. Like, you can just make an animal look so good so easily just by getting the shadows right. So that being said, I am going to mix a dark tone, a mid-tone, and a light to use. And of course you can have more than just the three, you can have some in-betweens. I'm using 2 different colors here, which is going to create a little bit more complicated shading process. When I go in to paint the animal, it's nice to start with that mid-tone like I did with the bighorn sheep, and then add in the darks and lights as I go. I definitely am mixing way too much paint. I'm not going to need all this, but it's nice to have more than you need. I've gotten really good at pouring just the perfect amount when I use my more expensive paints, because I want them to last a while and I go through them very fast. But at the same time, these are some of my favorite colors, so of course all the colors are my favorite, but if I mix extra, I can just put this on another project. I don't ever waste paint. I just put it in my sketchbook or something, create something out of it later. When it comes to my nieces and nephews, that's a different story. You give them paint, they're probably going to waste it. You'd think children would be the opposite. Like, you know, they don't have access to paint all the time, so it's like, use it wisely. I have so many nieces and nephews. They just go through paint so fast. They're so cute. These are usually the paints that I let my nieces and nephews paint with, and whatever's left over, I'll let them paint some more. I mean, like I said, these are so affordable. You might as well give the children some good quality paint. And when you buy those little tubes, those packs, those are gone in one sitting with those kids. And there's the paints, ready to go. Drawing a goat, a goat, a goat. I'm not a big advocate of being on your phone. It's just not healthy. It's one of those things that you get addicted to. Art to me is addicting. Your phone, you just have to be careful to use it intentionally. And by you, I mean me. You do whatever you want. But if I am going to be out here sharing my thoughts online, I would like to encourage people to take a break from their phone and be conscious of what you're using it for, when you're using it, etc. It's nice for reference images. The the art retreat I ran, it was like a no phone thing, which I think was kind of annoying because then people couldn't take pictures, even though they still did sometimes. And I was taking pictures with my camera, so I shared a lot of pictures with people, but the phone can be used in so many different ways. You can use it to learn, you can use it to communicate with other people, so you just have to be aware of how you're using it. I've just seen myself sometimes scrolling online mindlessly because I'm bored, which means I should probably just sit with my feelings, or, well, their ears are way too big. You should really be listening to your mind and what's coming up, that it's a good time to, you know, just relax the thoughts and not have to be inundated constantly with information. It's actually not good for your nervous system. It keeps you in fight or flight if you're feeling busy, and being on your phone, I'm kind of just regurgitating things I've learned. Being on your phone causes you to feel busy, and I know, like, some days if I spend a lot of time learning on YouTube or something, or anyway, I mean, it doesn't have to be on your phone, but your brain uses a very large percentage of your energy. So if you're using your brain to digest information, whether helpful or not, it's going to be taking up your energy for sure. Look at that cute little goat baby. It's good to save some of your energy and not always be giving it away. Like, even people in your life, sometimes you have to spend time by yourself, and it's not at all selfish to want to have some downtime, alone time, but a lot of times, depending on the kind of culture you're raised in, and each home has its unique culture, we all have our own time to just enjoy life. You don't want to spend too much of it on your phone or with other people, because, I mean, of course it's nice to spend time with other people, but you also have to give yourself time to really enjoy what's going on inside your own mind. Figure out how to enjoy it. Understand that it can be enjoyed. Etc., etc., etc. You can hold a ski pole. You don't need opposable thumbs to hold a ski pole. That's silly. That's outdated information. So for all of this yellow, I have had to put down a very opaque yellow first. Opaque just means not see-through. And basically I just mixed yellow with white. Anytime you mix white with a color, you're gonna get a more opaque color, and it's gonna be a lot easier to cover up what's underneath. You're gonna need multiple coats. This is now the second coat of this lighter yellow to cover up a color like teal underneath it, because they just show through, like you can see. And I'm kind of particular, I like the object to look solid instead of see-through, but you can leave it see-through. To each his own, and just depends what you're going for. So after this, I'm going to add this bright yellow. Like, that's what I did down here, and you can see it's still kind of see-through. That's okay, from far away you can't tell, as long as it's not completely see-through to where the color is changing. Now, some people work with the translucent colors to their advantage. They want this greenish color, so they'll do a wash of yellow over top of blue, and they allow the layers to change color as they come forward. So you have to understand your color wheel for that kind of thing and how things mix. And essentially, instead of mixing it in your paint palette, you're mixing it on the canvas, which is usually what I do with watercolor too. I don't really paint that way, but it is an idea for those of you who have a creative practice going and want to try that. I'm sure there's some classes out there. Maybe I'll change up my style, learn how to do it, teach a class out here on YouTube. I just released my first tutorial ever. It was for watercolor painting, and I am stoked on that. I mean, that was just exciting. A pink goat skiing. Who would have thought? I wasn't too sure about making the goat pink. It was my initial idea, and then I thought it looks kind of like a pig, and I was like, I don't know if the colors work. But then I figured I can always paint a new one. Why change it? Stick with my initial intention. There was a little bit of wisdom that one time someone told me, and it was that if you're trying to make a decision, go with the first thing that pops into your head because it's usually right. Whose wise old mentor I loved. I've talked about him before on this channel in the video Thy Will and Not My Own. I'll link it in the description.